Okie dokie, push day. Last week I made a video on why I combine skills with the calisthenics bulk because you get heavier, it becomes more difficult. But I guess I should also explain how I do it because I got a comment regarding that, like I want to know how. So today I'll be explaining exactly how I do it and my philosophy behind it. So first of all, I'm just warming up here, but I'm warming up for my compound movement, I base my training off kind of like power building style, which if you know is like powerlifting combined with bodybuilding. So they will try to get their bench, squat and deadlift very strong. And then alongside that, they will do some accessories and get their physique up as well. Now, in calisthenics, we're not aiming for a 1 rep max unless you're doing, weighted calisthenics, dips and pull-ups. In my case, or in this case of the video, we're working on skills. So we're just trying to get good at the movement, maybe even more endurance-based. But the principle is the same, because a power builder or power lifter will practice the movement a lot and the technique a lot to get the best or as good as possible at the movement. And we have to do the exact same. It's not a 1 rep max we're aiming for, but the better our technique is, the more powerful we will become, and that's the goal. So for me, basically what I do is bench becomes planche. I guess the deadlift becomes the front lever, even though there's no legs involved, but the back rows. And then squat becomes, in my case, pistol squat. So today I'm going to be practicing the planche. I'm going to do my warm-up set now, and then I'll explain further along the way how exactly I structure my training. All right, first set, and then I'll explain a bit about what I'm doing. All right, so if you're combining skills with bulking, I would recommend to just mainly do the same training as a calisthenics athlete, or a skill athlete, I should say. Try to get stronger at your skills. For example, I'm now doing some push-ups. I'm trying to progressively overload my push-ups, just like a skill athlete would do. A skill athlete, he has the planche. He wants to do more and more and more planche. I'm trying to do the same. The only difference is I'll do a bit less volume than a skill athlete on the planche with a bit more intensity, I believe. And then after I'm done, I still have some energy for accessories, because if I do the planche, of course, my shoulders and my biceps will be, growing a lot. But for example, the chest this week. So I'm going to do some accessories for chest. So what I'm aiming for here is some push-ups, like I said. So progressive overload means that you're trying to do a bit more, either weight or endurance reps, sets than last time. Every time a little bit more. And this is important because if you do the same stuff every time, well, you're not gonna grow. If you do the same stuff every time, your body doesn't have a need to grow stronger. So you need to create that need for your body, because if it adapts and you always do the same stuff, well, then basically you're stuck at the same spot. So last time I did 2 sets of 2 reps on the push-up and then 1 set of 3. Today I'm gonna see if it's possible to do 3 sets of 3 reps on the push-up to a press, and then from there I'll see, but probably will be moving into some presses. So very standard skill training, right? We have some push-ups, we have some presses, and we'll see from there. Okay, I noticed I'm bending my arm a little bit. So just like on any skill training, just like a power lifter would, if your technique is wrong, you try to adjust it. So not promising it will be perfect, but at least I'll keep it in mind. Alright, I moved on to presses. One distinctive advantage of bodyweight training, skill training, is that within the same movement, in this case planche, you can have different exercises. You know, if you go to the gym and you train for bench, you have bench. That's it. And I guess you can do some variations, like maybe like reverse grip bench or wide grip bench or close grip bench. But in general, it's just a bench, right? Like in planche, you also have all these little variations. You can do supinated, you can do pronated, you can do parallel, you can do floor, you can do finger. And on top of that, you also have the different exercises. You can do the planche hold, you can do the press, you can do the holds. So there's lots of variation in your training, which I really like. So yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'm just gonna do a couple of presses here. The exact same thing as with the push-ups, aiming for a little bit more. So last time I did these as well with 1 kilo on my feet. I did 2 sets of 2. Today I'm gonna see if I can get 1 set more. So 3 sets of 2. Shit. All right. Okay, moving on to some holds here. Maybe with some presses mixed in as well, but I have 2 kilo on my feet. This is going to be very heavy. The important part is that I don't count it as extra volume because it's harder. Because, well, it's not extra volume, right? So I'm not going to count it as extra volume. It's just more difficult with the same volume. And that's important, but I'll explain after why that is important. Fuck. All right, to the explanation. So, why is it important that even though my sets are more difficult, I don't count it as extra volume? Well, like I said, it's not extra volume, it's just more difficult. And I think it's important, if you want to have a focus on muscle building, to have enough volume. This is not only important for muscle building, also for your skill, of course. This goes hand in hand. You need some volume to learn the movement, but also to get enough muscle stimulus. Because let's say I said, okay, this 2 kilo planche hold, it's more difficult than a normal planche hold. So I'm going to count it for more volume. I'm going to count it for more points, I'll say. What will happen is my volume will drastically go down. It's like the same concept as if you're only doing attempts. You know, you have like half a second of stimulus to your muscle. And in bodybuilding, it would be the same as trying to build your physique with only 1 rep maxes. Is it possible? Yes, you're going to build some muscle, but it's not optimal, it's not efficient, it's dangerous because you're going to have more chance of injury. So these are two very important factors. And that's why I think it's better to regard your total volume rather than the difficulty of the exercise. If you aim for a certain volume, your exercise difficulty will automatically go up along the way because you can hit your target volume with more difficulty. And that's going to allow you to progress in the end. So that's what I'm doing here. The first time I did these 2 kilo holds, or not the first time, but the first time in a long, long while, was last time. I did 3 seconds then. And my point here is just that I want to build up some volume. It's the same. I guess I already explained this with the push-ups and with the press, but I'm just trying to do a little more than last time. So I'm going to do one more set or maybe 2 more sets if all goes well of the planche with some weight. And then we'll move on to accessories, which are very important as well. Okay, planche workout is done. At the end, I used some assistance because again, volume is more important than the intensity to me because I'm trying to build muscle. And now I'm gonna go into the accessories. And accessories are very important, and I say this even though I've been neglecting them quite a lot lately. But accessories are gonna be used to build the muscles that are not really built during your main exercise. So in our case, I guess we're all doing skills here. It's the planche, and in the planche you have a lot of shoulders, you have a lot of biceps, so those are going to grow, but your chest is lacking a bit. Your chest is quite lacking. So my chest is weak as well because I train a lot of planche, but not a lot of chest. So what I'm going to do here is let my chest catch up, is do some accessories for the chest. I have push-ups, I'm going to do incline wide grip, and I have my bars a bit like this, so my grip will be a tiny bit supinated. And this is going to be like to mimic a bit of a chest fly in the gym, Chest flies are great for isolation in your chest, of course. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. The only thing that's lacking a bit here is at the top, I won't have a squeeze like this. If you have the rings, which to be honest, I have them as well, but I'm too lazy to hang them up at the moment because I have to go to work in a few minutes. So yeah, if you have the rings, you can use the rings instead and really squeeze at the top as well, which would be the best way to activate your chest because it's also balancing stuff. But for me today, just some weighted variation of the incline wide grip push-up. I have 15 kilos in my backpack. I will set a timer every 3 seconds. And basically I will do a rep and then wait for the remainder of the time at the bottom of that position so that I can get a stretch in my chest while having load on the muscle. And that's gonna let it burn up completely. Now, this is just pump stuff, Up until now, I've been resting a lot of, well, not that much, but I did a set every 4 minutes. So my rest time was 3.5 minutes. Here, my rest time just goes out the window. I don't really care. It's not that long. That does not mean that this is not something you should progressively overload on. I know I have a PR noted down. Last time I did 15 push-ups with pause at the bottom with 10 kilos on my back. So now I'm doing 15 kilos. I'm gonna go for the same 15 reps at least. I wanna get that PR, that weighted PR for these push-ups. That's important because that's how you get stronger. That's how your muscle gets stronger, So I'm gonna put on the timer and let's do these sets. Not 12, not 12, sorry, not 15 reps, but we got a good grinder. So now, gonna rest for a tiny bit, put off the timer. Actually, I'm gonna do one more of these exact same reps. Okay, so I just did my second set, supersetted controlled fast reps with some thrashing reps, you know, just going as fast as possible, not really caring about the form. And those last few reps are very important, you know, because if you're muscle building, of course, like slow and controlled stuff is important as well. But if you only do that, it's very difficult to dash out everything you have. So it's good to do it, but at the end, you know, make sure with the energy you have left, you do some quick reps as well, maybe some half reps to get the final bit of juice out of your muscles. So now I'm gonna do a couple more sets, one weighted where I just do thrash reps, and then one with body weight. I'll see what I'll do there. Wrist pause, drop sit. One more with just body weight and then we're done. Oh. Holy shit, can you guys see this? That's a sick chest pump right there. All right, let's talk a bit about it. So today we had two missions. One mission was to get stronger at planche. Check, accomplished. The second one was to get a sick juicy chest pump. I mean, accomplished. So very good training today again. I mean, if you go hard, there's really no way to get a bad training, right? You gave it your all. What more can you ask for? But what I do want to talk about lastly is the efficiency of doing skills and a bulk together. Because, well, doing skills is generally not associated, I'm going to sit down, with building muscle, right? I mean, the guys who do skills, they have a toned physique, but they're mostly shredded and not really huge. In general, right? There are some exceptions. So, like, doing skills is not really associated with bodybuilding, and that's normal, right? So, in my opinion, is it efficient? Yes and no. It is efficient as in like, if you do the right volume at the right intensity with your skills, you're gonna build the same or nearly the same amount of muscle as like someone who just does bodybuilding, you know? Close to, or someone who does power building, because it's not all hypertrophy, but it's going to be very close. So the amount of muscle that you're building is very close, in my opinion. However, the places you build your muscle in are less easy, or not as easy to control, because a bodybuilder, he goes to the gym, he can isolate whatever muscle he wants, he can control the weight like with half kilos at a time, you know. So for him, it's very easy to modify You know, the intensity, the amount of, or control each reps, focus on one muscle. While if you're doing calisthenics, you do skills, you're doing your planche, you're getting stronger at the planche, your shoulders and your biceps are getting bigger, but other areas like your chest are going to start lacking. So, and even if you want to isolate them, you know, I did some push-ups now, but push-ups is not only chest, although I'm fucking feeling my chest, holy shit, do it like this, very good for your chest. But it's way more difficult to isolate a muscle, it's way more difficult to basically adjust the difficulty of your exercise, or difficult, I should say, it's not as straightforward. You need to have like a base of knowledge of the right progressions, you know, where do I add my weight? Do I add weight in the first place, you know? And in that way, I think, you know, doing skills on a bulk is less efficient at building muscle. But regardless of that, you didn't click on this video, I believe, because you wanted the most efficient way of building muscle. You wanted to know, is it possible to bulk, gain weight, and still be able to do skills? I think that's what you're looking for. So is it like as easy to build or like build muscle and build a bodybuilder physique on calisthenics with skills? No, but that's logical, because you know, that's bodybuilding. There is an entire sport specifically made for that skill of building muscle. So it's logical that that sport is going to be the best at what it does. It's like saying, you know, can I like train bodybuilding and do skills at the same time? Yes, you can, but you're not going to be as efficient at the skills, you know, because the best sport for skills is calisthenics, is gymnastics. And if you mix in something else with that, you're going to lower the effect. But that being said, I believe you can really get like a good amount of results building muscle. Because if you eat enough, you go hard in your training, how the fuck are you not going to build muscle, you know? It's just inevitable that you're going to build muscle if your body has the energy for it and you're going hard in your training and you're recovering enough. So that's all I'm going to say regarding that. No, it's not as efficient as bodybuilding entirely, but it will get you damn good results. And yes, you can get stronger on a bulk doing skills. In fact, you should get stronger, right? If you don't get stronger, then you're doing something wrong. You should gain planche skills or skills, front lever, whatever. You should become stronger on your bulk. Or maybe one thing I should also mention, don't dirty bulk, because if you're bloated all the time, it's going to be very hard to do your planche. So I prefer clean bulking for calisthenics. Anyway, that's it regarding this video. Tomorrow we have a pull day, which we had 6 days to recover. I'm looking so much forward to it. So that's going to be fun. I'll see you tomorrow.